Nico here. So, I've decided that what I'm gonna do is basically vet celebrities. So if I'm not gonna just follow a person just because they're a celebrity or they're a politician. I'm gonna listen to what you have to say and decide in that moment. If I don't like what you're saying, blocked. If I didn't hear anything about how you're trying to do something to help others, blocked. I'm so sick of these celebrities, and not even just celebrities, but people who we've put in positions of leadership who do not care about average, normal people. Are a lot of influencers who have helped people, and they're on YouTube and they're on TikTok and stuff, and they actually help people and they actually speak on issues and they actually give good advice, and those are the people who I want to help. But the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake situation was so interesting because it really shows who's linked to who. So when Drake said, in his song, trying to get the always rapping, trying to read, right? This has been a reoccurring theme. I guess the alt-right movement. So I don't know if you listen to different YouTubers, but there's a famous YouTuber who commented about this. So here's what I'm going to link it back to. I'm going to link it back to that interview that was done by the girl Pearly Things, and she interviewed the guy that was super alt-right, and he was a guy, I forget his name. He was a guy who was hanging out a lot with Kanye West at the time, and I think Pearly Things did an interview, and then Jason Black kind of broke it down because she said some very strange things, like slavery was overrated, or slavery wasn't really real in America, and she made a lot of comments, and I think Jason Black on YouTube called her out for it, and she never apologized. But the weird thing was the same manager, so her same manager, okay, so the girl Pearly Things, right, somehow got involved with the Daily Wire or something, and somehow she has the same manager as, or she had, I don't know, this is all alleged, but she has the same manager as Candace Owens. So apparently the Pearly Things girl and Candace Owens had the same manager, but then the Pearly Things girl did some interview where she called out specifically slavery, and she said slavery was not real or something, right? And then Drake comes out in this song and he says something along the same lines, like, you always rapping trying to get the slaves freed. So it's just, you see how all these people are linked. And then, so then Candace Owens comes out with that documentary that she did in 2020, and that documentary was basically saying, basically unraveling the Black Lives Matter, and saying that it wasn't real and all of this stuff, and or something that's money laundering or whatever. So then she puts that out, and it was just very strange. And that's when I started to be like, oh, wait a minute. And so that's when I started to really look at her a little bit differently, because usually I was really listening to what she said, but she put out the documentary. It was very confusing. Then the next weird thing is Kanye West and her wear the White Lives Matter shirt. in the fashion show or whatever. And you know, that that was very, very, very strange. Yeah, and I know that they're both like married to um, Caucasian people. Okay, but it was just it was just all very strange. Like that's when it was becoming very strange. But you can see how all these people are linked, right? So it's the it was the Pearly things, it was the Fuentes, it was the Owens, it was the Kanye West, and then now Drake is saying. So yeah, so I guess, and then you have Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar has been making music for a long time, very powerful figure, but now he comes out and kind of exposes Drake with this song, and especially Not Like Us really hits home, especially for hip hop, for the hip hop community, which I am definitely big on hip hop, definitely. Um, so, his lyrics and his words actually mean something. They're actually saying something. They're actually like uplifting and exposing something. And then you have the whole, how it's related to the Met Gala, and all these people are there and they don't really care about people. They don't care about, they're not like us. So I think I think a lot of people who are average or just normal American, humble, working class people um, will not say certain things. They will never say certain things when it comes to slavery, when it comes to, you just, people don't say, decent people do not speak like that, in any context, So the fact that there's such a rhetoric that's running around Hollywood, running around politics, and being spread is just very, very triggering, because normal people do not speak like that or bring up those types of topic. Like, people are just trying to get groceries, right? So it's just very interesting. Then you go into like an actual, so these are all probably social issues, maybe first world problems, but then you go to the war in the Middle East that's happening right now. I haven't seen any celebrities speak on that either, not to my knowledge. I just really haven't. Nobody's saying that it's wrong or that it should stop, or like, what's going on, like, why is it still happening. Nobody's really saying anything at all about it, and it's just very strange. Like, the whole world knows about it, but the biggest people, the richest people are not really saying anything, and it's just, so it's just like, why do I have to follow these people who don't speak on anything? They don't speak on anything. They say weird things. They say alt-right things. Like, it's just, I don't. Yeah, so I've just decided that it's not really worth to follow. It's much better to follow people who give a good example, people who give advice, and stay true to themselves, and they don't like suddenly change up. They don't suddenly forget who they are, where they came from, or the fans that put them there. Um, that's what I'm very concerned about. So I just kind of had it with celebrities. They had their chance, they've done nothing. They haven't used their voice or songs to speak on anything. At least Kendrick Lamar did. So I commend him for that, because it's really opened our eyes to a lot of stuff, especially the Met Gala, the abundance, the opulence, and the mockery, really, of us all. Let them eat cake. But yeah, TikTok is allowing us to kind of put longer form content. So this is my longer form content. Um, I think the talent really lies in the people. Like, there's so much talent in us and, you know, nobody's trying to, I don't know, there's all these things being exposed about the celebrity culture, and it's really like, you know, over sexualized and demonic and strange, and nobody's like speaking on real things that are happening. You know, they just kind of live in this fictional world, and it's just feeling very dystopian. It's feeling very Orwellian. You know, it's looking like 1984. So, and also the songs on the radio are like, you know, no, like, no, like, they're not talking about any issues that everyone is going through right now. So I'm gonna do the same thing with music. Like, I want to listen to a song and see, does this song speak to me or no? And then I'm gonna determine, you know? And that's how I want my music to be. I want my music to be relatable. I want my music to be helpful, you know? So the song that I do have is called My Life, and it talks about life. It talks about saying no. It talks about you know, not getting abused or taken advantage of. Like, it's very relevant. It's very relevant. Lastly, the thing that I want to talk about is, you know, that the thing that I've noticed is the Pope. The Pope is speaking on issues that are going on right now. The Pope is actually addressing issues. He's writing letters. He's reading letters. He's exposing what's going on. He spoke about, you know, how he's against the war that's happening right now. He says that there should be a ceasefire. Like, he's actually speaking out on things that are happening. He's speaking out on a lot of stuff. He's speaking out about how technology is taking over, how our phones are keeping us from talking to each other and talking to our face-to-face conversations. He's talking about the addiction, you know, of how technology is affecting us. Like, he is using his platform to speak about, yeah, of course, like Christianity or whatever, but also social issues going on in the world.